Electronic power steering is one of the latest vehicle advances replacing the hydraulic pump assist system. However, a strong understanding of these older systems is still required. Early steering systems relied on the reduction gear ratios within the steering box or rack to reduce steering input required by the driver. These systems were improved with the addition of hydraulic assistance to the steering rack or box. The hydraulic pump creates flow within the steering system and provides the force required to operate the steering gear. The power steering pump is generally belt driven by the engine crankshaft. This means whenever the engine is running, hydraulic flow is maintained. The most common hydraulic pump is the centrifugal vane type. Rotation of the pump shaft spins the rotor and retractable vanes inside an oval-shaped camring. Hydraulic fluid is drawn into the pump housing from the reservoir, due to the low pressure created by the rotating vanes. The fluid is pushed by the vanes to the outlet side of the pump housing, where it passes through a flow and pressure relief valve before entering the supply hoses. As engine speed increases, the hydraulic pump's output will also increase. This control valve regulates the flow of exiting fluid. The pump is designed to provide maximum flow at low engine speeds, as this is when the greatest assistance is required. A flow control valve mounted in the pump outlet is held in position by a heavy return spring. This is in effect a spool valve. When fluid pressure is equal on both sides of the valve, the spring holds the spool valve in the closed position. As the pump speed increases, the fluid pressure rises due to the increased flow rate. This exiting fluid creates a venturi-like action in the outlet orifice, reducing the pressure in the spool balance port. This reduction in pressure on one side of the spool valve causes it to move, uncovering the return port. Fluid is able to flow to the pumping chamber once again. The spool valve will continuously move in its bore, controlling fluid flow based on system demand. The relief valve is simply a ball and spring, sealing a relief port in the spool valve. This is used to relieve system pressure when the steering wheel is held against its stops. At this point, system flow is severely restricted, and if not relieved, hose or seal damage will result. Since the pump speed is fairly low, the return port is covered and system pressure cannot be reduced. The high system pressure acts through the balance port via the outlet orifice, increasing pressure at the base of the spool valve. When the fluid pressure reaches a predetermined level, the spring force is overcome and a small amount of fluid is allowed to flow through the pressure relief valve. This lowers the pressure at the base of the spool valve, allowing it to slide in its chamber, uncovering the return port, dropping system pressure. Once the steering wheel torque has been released, the system pressure returns to normal. The rotary control valve is the component that controls fluid delivery to the steering gear. The rotary valve is located between the steering input shaft and the pinion gear. It consists of an inner spline torsion bar and an outer control sleeve fixed to the pinion gear. When the steering wheel is at rest, there is no movement of the torsion bar or control valve. In this position, fluid flows around the valve and back to the reservoir. As the steering wheel is rotated, resistance from the road wheels via the steering linkage and gear causes a deflection or twist of the torsion bar. A small amount of movement has been designed to exist between the inner and outer splines of the torsion bar and control sleeve. There can be up to 7 degrees of free movement between the two. It's this created space that allows fluid to flow through the valve. This will only happen when the ports in the sleeve are exposed by the relative displacement of the inner torsion bar splines. Slight rotation of the valve gives a small amount of assistance, which becomes progressively greater as the torsion bar flexes, opening the ports to a greater degree. Turning the steering wheel to the right exposes a section of the rotary valve ports to the outlet pipe. Fluid is able to exit here and flow to one side of a piston attached to the steering rack. Hydraulic fluid builds up on one side of the piston, creating a greater pressure on this side of the steering rack. The rack is therefore pushed in the direction of the applied pressure. The more the steering wheel is turned, the greater the fluid flow to the piston from the rotary valve, and the further the rack is moved. As soon as the steering wheel pressure is eased, the relative displacement between the torsion bar and control sleeve reduces. Fluid is no longer allowed to flow to the rack and is instead returned to the power steer reservoir. Turning the steering wheel in the opposite direction has the same result as earlier, except as fluid flows from the rotary control valve to the opposite side of the steering rack, a port in the control valve opens, which allows the fluid from the now low pressure side of the rack to be returned to the reservoir. The rotary control valve can be adapted to suit all types of integral gear style steering boxes. In these designs, the valve is mounted between the input shaft and the worm gear. A torsion bar and control sleeve are used in the same manner as the rack and pinion system to control the flow of pressurised fluid to the steering gear. In this system, the recirculating nut has been redesigned to accommodate a piston that is able to slide inside a housing. When the steering wheel is turned, the control valve allows fluid to flow via a gallery to one side of the piston. As long as the control valve remains open, fluid will fill the chamber and push the piston in the direction of the applied pressure. When pressure from the steering wheel is reduced, the torsion bar is relaxed, allowing the control sleeve to neutralise. This closes the ports in the control sleeve, stopping fluid flow to the power piston. Rotating the steering wheel in the opposite direction reverses the fluid flow from the control valve. Fluid exits the valve and is applied to the opposite side of the power piston. The control valve then allows fluid from the low pressure side of the power piston to return to the steering reservoir. Both of these systems are termed hydraulic assist steering, due to the fact that we're using hydraulic pressure to assist us when turning the steering wheel. If there is a failure in the hydraulic system or the engine is not running, the steering will still operate but with greater driver input. Hydraulic steering has been around for a long time because it's reliable and simple. Understanding the principles of power steering will help you diagnose and repair these systems. Thanks for watching.